Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, Coach Mike. Thank you for sharing your lesson
Sure,
with
yeah.
me. Tell me a little bit what went really well in this lesson.
So in task standard 4 and 5, we're talking about strategies. There's also some shots, like a lot of terms they haven't heard of before. So I definitely think the enthusiasm is still pretty good. Everybody's, most importantly, the kids have been open to hearing out, some stuff that they normally don't hear. Because a lot of times it's just them thinking about hitting the ball. These are terms that they haven't heard. So everybody's been cool about that. I think they're very receptive to it, and I would say it's just a matter of more repetition. I think they probably can get some of the things. We just need to do it more.
Got
So
it.
just more repetition of some of the shots and stuff.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that your students are very compliant. They're very respectful to
Yeah,
you and
yeah, yeah,
following your
yeah,
directions.
definitely
I
on
think
that. Yeah.
I think that shows the relationship that you have, the culture that you're building
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
class.
thank you. Yeah.
The last time we talked about doing an exit ticket at the end.
Yeah.
Tell me a little about that process and how did it work for
Sure,
you?
sure. I mean, I probably can do a little bit better job if I'm being
Uh-huh.
truthful. I got, I did, we closed. We actually had 6 students this time, so we closed with the 6. And when I asked them the question, I basically said, you know, tell me why you think hitting, like, what's the benefit of hitting a deep shot to,
Mhm.
the court, and that can be applied to ping pong or foursquare. And I wasn't certain if anybody would reply. One of the students did reply, and they basically, they more or less gave me the answer, which is kind of to throw your opponent off.
Mhm.
Um, if someone's really overpowering you,
Mhm.
you can kind of counter their power by hitting that deep shot, and it forces them way back, and they're kind of on the defensive. So they didn't necessarily say that in those terms, but that's kind of how I gathered the response.
Good. Okay. As what I'm hearing from you is that it was kind of a verbal
Yeah,
conversation. So
yeah,
I think for me, I want to push you to the next level because let's say there were 6 kids there and
you want
one
all of
is
them.
able to answer
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
right? We want to gauge and see, do all 6 kids know it
Makes sense.
independently?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah,
So I would definitely say either do like a written thing first because right now we don't know if kid number 2 is repeating
yeah,
student number 1's
exactly.
answer.
Yeah,
So we want to see what they're mastering. So I think I want to push you on thinking about how do you know if each student individually
yeah,
know. I think what you described is a great class discussion
yeah,
because now and then they're learning from each other.
yeah.
But if we're trying to measure if they fully understand it, we want to make it very
Makes
individual.
sense. Yeah,
So
makes
knowing
sense.
that, tell me what you would do next week so that you can measure each student's mastery.
I think we'll probably have, maybe I'll have them pair up and maybe have them, like, I'll hand them something and say, give me these answers. And I think most importantly, we'll probably try and set aside some more time
Mhm.
for that. And maybe if there's 6 of them, have them pair up with a partner,
Yep.
because a
Okay.
lot of them,
Yep.
a lot of them are kind of shy.
Yep.
So have them pair with a partner, maybe work on the little assignment, simple
Mhm.
questions, and then just explain their answers to me, and then I can kind of gauge.
Yep.
And obviously don't use the phone, just
Yes.
knowledge, what I've given them, and I can kind of gauge and see if they're understanding some of the concepts and the terms. So
Yep. So let's incorporate that into your
yeah,
lesson next
sure.
week, right? Because I think that your revised method will help to know more kids' responses
Yeah.
instead of maybe just one or two
Mhm.
responding to your question. Okay, great. I
Sure.
look forward to seeing that.
So I
Then.
just wanted
Yeah.
to close on one
Uh-huh.
last thing. So some of the positives and negatives. I
Mhm.
think some of the, I'm not going to call them negatives, but
Mhm.
I did foresee that they would have some of the problems that we talked about, like
Uh-huh.
like this dink shot, which is a drop shot.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult shot. I don't necessarily think they did bad on it. I just think they need to practice it more. It's probably something that they've honestly never thought of.
Great.
You know.
Are you planning on incorporating that into your lesson next week?
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Okay.
probably. Because so far every day, every time that we've met up, we've always started with, like, serves. Serves a big part of the game. You got to start the ball off serving. So we've always done that.
Yep.
This isn't the most important part, but if you were to watch, like, a professional pickleball player,
Uh-huh.
this would be a big part of their game, like these drop shots.
Yeah. Okay. Because
So
that's how you score.
of
Right?
course, yeah.
That's how you get.
Well, I mean,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
kind of how you get everybody off
Yeah.
balance. Like, I
Exactly.
make you
Yeah.
off balance by switching it up,
Yes.
and then maybe then I blast one deep to you. So it's all about just getting people off balance and
Right. So your lesson can be like what's the purpose of why are you teaching them that?
sure.
And what and that because that's a strategy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then so teaching that and that completely aligns with the standard. And then your exit ticket can be well, what have them explain to you
Yeah.
why did you teach that skill?
Mm.
How is that skill going to help them do well in the game?
Sure.
And I think that all ties into what you're teaching, and then measuring at the end what they know,
Yeah.
based like did they retain what you're
Mhm.
teaching them.
Do you think it matters if it's multiple choice, or should it be more like a, answer this essay type question,
I
write
think
some
it can
stuff
vary
down?
depending
Very?
on, right,
Okay.
or it could be both. Like it'll
Okay.
be right, or it could be true or false or multiple
Yeah.
choice,
Okay.
and then give them at least one open
One.
ended.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Appreciate it.
good.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was